Hello Patreon supporters, this will be some the raw stuff coming out of the Sling2 episode. I've also got amazing amounts of footage from flying the Phenom 300 with Osama, literally 6 hours of awesomeness to go through, so it's going to be a while before I get that organized, but there will be some raw stuff coming from that for Patreon before the episodes go public. And I'm also working on my Harvard/T6 checkout this season, which is both scary and exciting, so lots of stuff coming from that if you're interested in the Warbirds. And I will be back to IFR, but that's not going to happen this summer. Meantime, this is my first time flying a Rotax, so I'm throwing in a bunch of the procedures and some of the briefing stuff that didn't make the public episode for you guys. Enjoy.
And just from going over the POH, I've never dealt with Rotax before, so it has a choke, does not have a mixture.
Does not have a mixture.
Doesn't have carb heat?
Not that you control.
So, because the procedure for carb ice was reduce power slightly and...
If you're getting carb ice in this airplane, you probably shouldn't be flying.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of, if you're really getting carb ice, you should have reevaluated what you were doing on the ground and did your pre-flight, or your pre-flight planning a little bit better. Okay. Because you shouldn't be getting carb ice.
Okay, cool.
Ironically, we did have a pretty unique and weird carburetor-related problem, so that does make the public episode, but we had to switch airplanes.
They're not firing at all. We probably have to shut down here. Yeah, we should probably, it's not good for the engine, eh? No, this is why we do pre-flight checks. Yeah.
So the one that we ended up flying was a very similar model, but it had some differences from what we briefed, so I'm just going to kind of go through the startup and run up procedures in real time for you guys.
Okay, so it's a little different than what we briefed?
Just a little bit. All the power settings are the same, and then let's talk about the pattern real quick. So you're going to take off, okay, make a right-hand turn at 500 feet, make another right-hand turn. When you get to 1,100 feet, which is TPA here, you're going to go 3,800 RPM, okay? That's going to give you 80 knots on downwind. Okay, when you're abeam the numbers, or not beam, but like 45 degrees from the numbers, drop 10 degrees of flaps, and then on base I want you 75, and on final I want you 72.
Okay, yep.
Sound good?
Yep.
All right. Brakes are on?
Parking brake, you mean?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, all right. And we'll start. Master's on?
I don't know.
Click the one to the right. There you go.
Okay.
All right. And then that's the other thing. If you see any of those two lights come on, okay.
So what they're supposed to look like is no lights. So these switches stay down, or we're talking?
No, they stay up.
Okay.
But once after like a few seconds of the engine starting, they should be off. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go. Flaps are up. Let's go all the way up. Flaps. Trim. We'll get that in a second. We'll do it on the run up. Fuel selector, fullest tank. Should be the right tank, so it'll be fine. Lane A switch on for me. Lane B switch on.
Are we looking for anything to happen?
Nope. All right. And then we're gonna go ahead and turn main fuel pump number 1 on. Okay, and then you're going to go engine ECU backup. Flip that on. Yep, for 5 seconds. 2, 3, wait for those to turn off. 4, 5. Go ahead and turn that off now.
That too?
Cool. Nope, leave that on. And then next thing we're going to do, our brakes are on. Propeller area is clear of obstructions.
Yep, clear.
Clear. All right, I'm just going to turn this on just because we didn't brief it and it's a little bit different. Okay.
Yeah.
Starts up quick. Both our tacks are working. Everything looks good there. Watch your head on the canopy. If you want to get situated, I'll taxi this up into the run area. That's a smoother engine.
Check. Yep. It's a little distorted sounding. Yeah, the comms in this airplane aren't the best because it's got the different avionics setup. That's unfortunate. But okay. I got a mic in my aircraft anyways, as backup. This airplane is super reliant on fuel pumps. Okay? So what I do is I taxi with the fuel pump number 1 on, and then I turn off auxiliary fuel pump during taxi, okay? That way I make sure that the main fuel pump is working okay and that it's not reliant on the auxiliary fuel pump. Does that make sense? So, but it's off right now. It is. So I taxi with it off to make sure this one is working okay. I gotcha, okay. And then you turn it on later? I turn it on before takeoff. And it stays on? And it stays on. Whole flight? The whole flight. Okay. And we can't fix that distortion, Nathan. Unfortunately, no. Okay. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Maybe you should just try not to bury your mic. Okay. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Alright. Check 1, 2, yeah. Yeah, that's I usually also put my mic real close, but yeah. This one, it needs to be. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. We had a lot of hiccups today. Oh, man. I'll tell you, I got stories. Orange ground, Sling2 Sierra Lima at the fuel pumps with information, hotel, ready taxi 29er. We'd like to right close traffic.
Sling2 Sling2 Sierra Lima, towards ground, runway 29 right, taxi via the ramp and Juliet.
29 right via the ramp and Juliet, 8 Sierra Lima. All right, man, your controls. Your parking brake is on. Oh, we're going the same way we went before? Yes, sir. And you'll notice this one's a little bit more heavy. I was going to say, yeah, it didn't go as fast as I thought it would. Yeah, this one's a little bit of a heavier airplane. That one is super light. That's why I love it. Okay, so park brake on? Park brake on, yes, sir. All right. Cool. Let's do our before takeoff check. Face into the wind, brakes are on trim. Let's go ahead and verify that's in neutral. It's right over here. This one works. Oh, okay. So right over here, you're on that black line. You're perfect. Okay. Pilot briefing, same thing. In the event of emergency, below 600 feet, if we lose our engine, we're going to go straight ahead. Higher than 600 feet, we're going to go ahead and turn around. We don't have that runway on the other side, but we'll make do and we'll figure it out. We got giant grass field as well, so. All right, let's do our box check. Check your controls. I'll get my big legs out of the way.
Green, correct.
How do you like these rudder pedals? Say again? Did you like these rudder pedals a little bit better?
I don't know if
I know the difference. What's different? Engine 4,000 RPM.
Right, taxi via the ramp and Juliet.
Yeah, feels better.
Juliet, 344.
Cold. Alright, let's go ahead and drop lane A. Okay, cool. Let's wait for 5 seconds.
Sure, 59 Mike Hotel, towards ground.
Alright, let's put it back on.
Via the ramp.
And now we're going to wait for that to turn back off. Beautiful. Drop lane B. Okay, you're going to wait for these to turn on, and you're going to check that this stays the same, drops less than 180, or it will rise a little bit, okay? Let's go ahead and put lane B back on. We're going to wait for these, and then that one should turn off here in a second. Beautiful. Okay. Fuel pump. Let's turn on the auxiliary, and we're going to turn off the main. Okay, we're going to wait about 30 seconds, okay? And what we're doing now is checking that the auxiliary works, okay? And what that's going to do, while we wait 30 seconds, is to get all that fuel out of the lines and into the engine.
The Alpha is on request, and the runway 29 right, taxi via the ramp engine.
Alright, that's good. You can turn on the main fuel pump now.
They're on the south side.
Alright, you can leave them both on. Alright, engine instruments, let's go to idle now.
The 29 right via the ramp.
And we check that everything is good in the green. We'll go to idle, runs fine, and now let's bring it up to 2,000 RPM. Beautiful. Alright, breakers, check that those are all in. Verify those. Altimeter should be 304 on both of those. That looks good. Okay. And then let's go to flaps, takeoff position 1.
We need to flight following.
Our seatbelts, your seatbelt's good. Alright, lights, we're all good. We'll turn on our landing light once we get on the runway. And then our transponder is squawking VFR, which is right up there. Cool. Any questions before we get going? Nope, that's good. Alright, are we clear with the power settings and everything? Well, we're firewalling it for takeoff. Firewalling it for takeoff. Climb at 72. Rotating at 55 or whatever. 55, or you can just do that soft build procedure that you want to do. Well, last time it backfired a little bit because we got the window this time.
Just off your right.
Yeah, get on.
And use caution, there's also a Cirrus westbound on the ramp. And one of you Foxtrot has the Cessna on the right and a Cirrus in sight.
Alright. Go ahead and taxi us up on there. 20 Tower, Sling2 Sierra Lima, holding short 29 red, Juliet, right pattern.
Alright, and the public episode basically picks up from here. I just threw a little clip on the end here that I almost used for the public Easter egg, but I thought you guys would enjoy it. Thanks again for the support. This Patreon campaign has been a huge part of why we're able to keep doing this, and I'll definitely keep sharing the exclusive stuff with you guys as often as I can. So thanks again.
And do you find it more or less a pain in the ass to teach a PPL guy in these?
That's a good question.
Both. Yeah. Both. So this airplane teaches you a lot of good habits because it is a handful to fly. It's not Mr. Sloppy Cessna. I'm totally like, I totally don't like flying 172s, as you could probably tell. But at the same time, to teach in, you really have to be on the spot with what your student is doing, because it's like this airplane has the real potential, if you're not careful, to put it in a situation that you don't want it to be in. However, at the same time, if I had to choose which airplane to be in a situation in, it'd probably be a Sling as opposed to a Cessna, because it's a lot more responsive, a lot more you can do.